Hey everybody, Pladio here, and today we're going to be doing a quick video on the Outriders dev update that just went out today, as well as Bossified's spankin' brand new version 2 Worldslayer edition of the Outriders Outpost app. So to get started, let's actually go ahead and take a look at the new Outriders Outpost app because it is a thing of beauty. Full credit goes to Bossified. He was working extremely hard on this application, and I want to go ahead and give you guys a quick tour on what this application is and what you can do with the new Bossified Outriders Outpost app. So to get started, I recommend everybody register for a profile. You can do that on the top right corner here. If you have not made a profile already, you'll have an option to register or sign in. So what are the benefits of having a profile? Well, it's outlined right over here. You guys can also access this by hitting the register button and then clicking benefits of an account. I do highly recommend having an account, as we'll go into the details as to why right now. So before we get started with the debrief section, let's first take a look at what it means to have an account in the Outriders Outpost app. You'll have a profile section where you can go ahead and input a lot of information, starting with your profile name, a description of your profile. You can even select a theme: Technomancer, Pyromancer, Trickster, Devastator, or the default Outriders Outpost theme. From there, you can go ahead and add your socials, your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, your Twitter profile, and your Discord server, as well as up to 6 YouTube links. And then you can also pin your profile builds. This part is actually super nice because this is what shows up on your profile when you go ahead and view your profile. Once you have your profile the way you set up, this is going to be how it looks for anybody that has your profile link. Now, full details right now, you actually aren't able to search other people's profiles. What you can do is go ahead and copy and paste your profile ID and send it to that person to take you directly to your profile page. And yes, my profile ID is 420, and yes, this was a request to Bossified. Now, Boss does plan on updating community features on this app as he works on it through the initial launch. However, this may take some time, and hopefully we'll have an implementation of being able to search other people's profiles without the need to actually have the direct URL. Heading back to the Outpost debrief section, which is the main landing page, let's take a look at what we can expect. For starters, you have some general news on Outriders, like the latest balance changes, some featured locations of the game, and a featured legendary item that will pop up every time you refresh the page, and more on the locations and the legendaries in just a little bit. You also have a tab up here for Outriders Academy, which will showcase some videos currently only made by Square Enix to help newer players get started. I'm sure Boss has more plans to add more featured Academy videos made from content creators, but that'll be at a later time. If you guys want to check out some podcasts, the 2 featured podcasts here are one from The Full Measure, The Altered Perception, as well as Babylon's Outsiders. If you guys want to check out the episode that I'm in, it's going to be episode 2. So if you want to check this podcast out, go ahead. It's actually really informative. Heading back to the debrief section, we can see that there are featured builds for myself, Full Measure, and community members. However, I'm sure there's going to be more featured builds here that's going to be showcased and rotationed out. That being said, moving down, you can go ahead and see an embed of Twitch streams of players currently playing Outriders, whether it's your favorite streamer or anybody that's currently on the directory will be featured here, which I think is a nice little touch. One more thing I want to mention here is there's also timers for the vendor resets. So all your static vendors will reset every 30 minutes, and then Tiago will reset, I believe, every hour and a half or so. Moving forward to the Outriders tool, this is going to be a great tool to calculate your weapon's maximum upgrade as well as your armor's maximum upgrade, right? For example, let's say you have an assault rifle that dropped as an apocalyptic item at level 30 with a base firepower of something like 7,000, and you want to see what it's going to be at max level. At max level, it's going to go ahead and give you 861,000 firepower. Same thing goes for armor, right? Let's say you have an armor at apocalyptic level 30 that dropped with something like 1,200. At maximum level, it's going to go ahead and be 85.7k. Another great feature is you can also inspect armor mods as well as weapon mods and see what they roll as far as the highest, average gear level 75 maximum roll is going to be. So if we take a look at something like Claymore Torrent, at maximum gear level, average level 75, it's going to do 3 million damage, right? If we go ahead and take a look at something on the armor side of things, for example, what's a good armor node here? Let's just say Auraforce. Not a good armor node, but just for a quick example. You can see that at average gear level 75, it's going to go ahead and do 216k damage. So feel free to mess around with this to your leisure. Heading over to the juice of this app, the create and share your builds. This is where everyone is going to go to share your build amongst your friends and the community itself. So first, you have your library section, and this is going to showcase every single build that you've currently saved on your profile. From here, you can also pin your builds to showcase on your profile as well, and to pin your builds, just simply hover over it and hit pin to profile. I've already pinned it, so the option I get is to unpin. You also have an option to duplicate your build as well as an option to delete your build. Heading to the character tabs, I low-key love this tab because with the build creator, you guys are able to upload your own transmog and have it saved to your library, which we're going to get into in just a moment. But if you don't have the time to go ahead and upload your own transmog, you can actually select a few from the pre-distinguished list that Boss has provided here. However, when you do have the time to upload your own transmog, it'll be saved to your library, or you can go ahead and have it easy access to add it to any build you make in the future, as well as delete any transmog that you have uploaded in case it's out of fashion for you for the season. Moving forward to the juice, the builder, this is where all the magic happens, right? So how do we use this? It's fairly simple. You get to choose a class, Technomancer, Pyromancer, Trickster, or Devastator, right? Once you select your class, you can go ahead and modify your class tree, select wherever you want for your class tree, close out of it, then go ahead and access the pack tree, select your pack trees, close out of it, and access your ascension points, fill up your ascension points, close out of it. You also have an option to change what average gear level your gear currently is, what your current ascension points are, your build name, your build description, and like I mentioned before, you can upload your own transmog and have it saved for your build guide. So how do you upload it? Super easy. Click this button and Bossified goes through descriptions on how you can upload your own transmog. So please go ahead and look at this at your leisure. That being said, once you've uploaded your transmog, you have them accessible from your library by clicking choose, accessing your library tab, and you can literally upload any single piece of transmog you want. So let's say I want this specific transmog, I can go ahead and load that specific transmog that I've already uploaded previously. Moving forward to the gear loadout section, the only thing I'm going to cover here, because it's pretty self-explanatory, is how to add a third apocalyptic mod slot. So for example, let's say our headpiece is the Concussioner's helmet. As you can see, we don't have a third mod slot available to choose, but that's super simple. You just need to go ahead and click this button here to switch it to an apocalyptic item. Then you can go ahead and access that mod slot and choose from a list of mods that is available, and you can go ahead and add whatever mod in your apocalyptic mod slot as you please. Once all of this comes together, this is what a fully fleshed out build guide is going to look like. I'm just going to head back to my library to look at one that I've already made, right? So once you've gone ahead and filled out everything in your build guide, this is what it's going to look like, and you can save your build and then either share a direct link or a visual link. A lot of people will select the visual link because visually it looks amazing. So this is what it's going to look like. Once you select the visual link, it's going to load up a beautiful template of your entire build guide that is going to showcase every single thing you inputted into the gear loadout. Absolutely fantastic. Then go ahead and share this URL with your friends, and they will have access to your beautiful build guide, and whether they want to provide you with additional suggestions on how to improve it, or go ahead and copy and paste your build guide, this is going to be your go-to resource. Heading back to the final section for the app, we are going to go ahead and look at the Outriders Explorer, where you can explore armor sets, legendary weapons, as well as locations. This is also pretty self-explanatory. You can go ahead and cycle through literally every single transmog in the game and take a look at the different perspectives. Honestly, huge shout out to Boz for being able to get all of this data inputted here manually, which I'm sure took a lot of time. Okay, guys, you have no idea how much work goes into making an app like this, and making one that looks this amazing is 100% Boz. You did an amazing job. But if you guys are curious on how to actually use this, this is pretty self-explanatory. Let's say there's a certain armor set you want to take a look at, like the Akari. Right, you can just type in Akari in the search box and take a look at what the Akari set does as far as its legendary bonus and what it looks like physically on a character. Now, let's say you want to look at something like terminal velocity, right? Just type in terminal and I'm sure it'll pop up. There's a terminal velocity trickster set and what the set bonus is. Same thing applies to legendary weapons. Let's say you want to take a look at what the Mythos looks like, just type it in, tells you what mods it comes with, what its clip size, its RPM, and all of that information is all laid out for you. I'm going to end this section off with the Outriders Outpost by saying, guys, if you have the funds, go ahead and click this donate and support button because Boss has worked his ass off for no compensation here. If you guys want to show your love, send $4.20 his way. Now that we've covered the Outriders Outpost app, let's take a look at the dev news update that we received today. And we have some exciting news here, and we're going to start off with the greater availability of Apocalypse Epic T3 mods through loot drops rather than vendors. So yesterday, and I'm sure everybody noticed because Reddit was filled, the official Discord server was filled with, holy shit, my purple weapons are actually getting amazing T3 drops? Well, that's because yesterday, PCF implemented a backend change to the weighting of drops for T3 mods on apocalyptic gear. Previously, players had found that vendors in the game appeared to have a higher chance for apocalypse drops than regular loot drops did. This is very true. It pretty much made the endgame being vendor farming rather than, well, actually playing the game. So yesterday, they equalized these chances so that neither will feel more or less rewarding, and my god, yes they did, guys. You run a Trials, you run an Expo, and you are going to be getting so many T3 mods, you can finally make that perfect min-max build that much more easierly. Not a word, but easierly. Moving forward, we also noticed that the cooldown reduction on gear shards on the previous patch was unintentionally reduced from 22.5% at max shards to 16.5% at max shards. They also said that earlier this week on Monday, they implemented a back-end tweak to reverse this change. As of Monday, cooldown reduction provided by items at max shards is back to 22.5%. However, I'm not sure if this back-end change actually worked as intended because my cooldown pieces on my current gear still show as 16.5%, so maybe there's still some adjustments that need to be done here. Moving forward, we have some important patch news that's going to be coming up on a upcoming patch that we need to go over because it may fix one of the juiciest bugs in Outriders. So, we currently have a small patch in the works which is intended to wrap up some of the work that wasn't able to go into in the previous patch or was identified after the patch. The upcoming patch is planned to deal mainly with the following, though testing is still pending. Fixing a bug that is causing the Grim Inventor set bonus to stop working after 2 procs. Fixing a bug that is causing client players' Apocalypse tier progress to behave abnormally. In some cases, the client might not gain any progression at all. In other, the client might even skip through Apocalypse tiers. PSA to everybody that's been holding off on juicing their characters, juice them up now, because if PCF is able to fix this, then there's going to be no more Apoc juicing and you guys will have to be manually grinding those Apocalypse tiers. So if you've been waiting like I have, don't, because I'm going to go ahead and start juicing all of my other characters, my Pyro and my Devastator, to Apocalypse tier 40 before this gets fixed. The next note is, we previously fixed the bug that prevented characters from gaining their first ascension point when transferred over the base game to Worldslayer. This upcoming patch is planned to grant all previously affected with their missing ascension point, which is great, especially for those that have some OCD and are missing that 1 point. Ideally, not a huge deal at the end of the day, but glad that this is going to finally be resolved. Next, we have fixing a bug that is causing the Rockfall mod to deal improper damage, committing the above mentioned T3 mod drop rates, and CDR changes to the build rather than the backend, basically meaning they're gonna just have it on the build itself rather than the backend update existing. This patch will still be going through testing and submission next week, so a tentative release window is likely to be mid to late August, so you guys have a few weeks to go ahead and juice up your characters. Now, this is also something that I think is super important, and I'm so glad Toby went ahead and provided this for us. The availability and official availability of mods on specific gear slots. The initial intended design for Outriders was that all mods should be able to drop on all slots. For example, the Captain Hunter mod was intended to be able to drop on upper armor, lower armor, footgear, gloves, and headgear. However, following a research prompted by the community members, Anotar specifically, which I believe he pointed this out to Toby to get attention on it on Buzz's stream, we were able to determine that the system is actually limiting mods to only drop on specific slots. For example, the Captain Hunter mod can only drop on upper armor. Correct. Resolving this unfortunately would absorb more time and resources than we have available. We will therefore have to leave the system functioning in the way it currently is, which I don't think is a con, right? Because if they did open it up to every single thing, trying to get that god roll piece just becomes more of a hassle. However, I think they need to relook into the boots drop pool, because the boots arguably have the worst drop pool in the entire game when it comes to not only apocalyptic mods, but also the T1 and T2 mods that can roll on boots is very limited. If they're able to add a few more juicier mods in the boot loot pool, I would love that, but I digress. As we know that some players are keen to understand specifically which mod can drop on which gear slot in order to better farm for it, we have compiled a full list of mods and respective gear slots as they should currently be working in game. You can access the info table here. However, a good friend of mine, Larzek, has actually made this Google Sheets that I will be linking in the description down below, that I'm also going to go ahead and upgrade and color code a few things to distinguish which are class mods and which are not class mods, right? For example, I've only gotten started on a handful here, so everything highlighted in blue are trickster mods that can drop. Anything highlighted in green is techno. Anything not highlighted is going to be universal mods, and then yellow and pyro will be for Devastator and pyro exclusively. So please check this out, as the format that PCF provided here is kind of a cluster and a mess. This is going to visually be a lot more easier for you guys to read what kind of T1 mods, T2 mods, T3 mods can roll, right? So this is going to be a great resource, so I do recommend you guys checking it out. I hope you guys enjoy this, and please let me know in the comment section below if you guys want me to cover like every single mini update or dev news Thursdays or any patch news that are upcoming for Outriders, as sometimes I skip these as I feel like they're not really that important and I can just give you guys the link to find it and, you know, digest the information for yourself. That being said, feel free to check out any of my Outriders content that should be popping up anytime now, as well as everything in the description down below. If you guys want, check me out on my Twitch at twitch.tv/PlayDohVer. Go in the comments and click that Discord link and join the Discord and tell me how much of a shitter I am. And if you guys want to go that extra mile, like, comment, consider subscribing, and also hitting that notification bell. Till the next one, peace.